Fellas, welcome back. Just got back from G.I. Joe Retaliation. Now, I remember, believe it was yesterday, I was trying to avoid spoilers, but I couldn't help it. I looked up, I believe he's a fairly mainstream film reviewer, published. He's got his own website. I'm not going to name names. And I was curious to see what he thought of Retaliation, because I kind of respect his opinion. And he slaughtered Retaliation. He mercilessly, without mercy, he slaughtered the hell out of Retaliation. Gave it like a 1.5 star. He said that early on in the review, I didn't even read it all, he had said that Retaliation was, they had actually, with the creation of Retaliation, they actually succeeded in making a dumber movie than The Rise of Cobra. And that Jon Chu, he had said that Jon Chu had obviously studied very closely the directing habits and techniques of Michael Bay, because it feels like a Michael Bay stupid movie. And man, oh man, that reviewer, that could not be further from the truth. Man, I'm having trouble speaking here, guys, but that could not be, that is bullshit. Jon Chu is a friggin' good director, I think. He, you know, for what it is, it's just a simple action movie, straight up action movie. Boy, Jon Chu really, he's a very capable director. And I gotta tell you, Masters of the Universe fans, He-Man fans, with this guy directing our future Masters of the Universe movie, we're in good hands with Jon Chu, I think. And I'm a guy who's, you know, I'm pretty big on directors. I like watching a film, and I like watching what the director has done, how he's framed shots, how he's shot the shot and everything. But yeah, Jon Chu, for anybody who's badmouthed him, they, in my opinion, they don't know what the hell they're talking about. Jon Chu is a damn good director. But anyway, aside from that, you know, Madman and I, we walked out of this film. We walked out of there, and on the way home, as he drove me home, we talked about, you know, things we liked about the film. And he had mentioned to me, and I agreed with him, that there was nothing in this film that either of us really disliked. There was nothing in the film that we could think of that was, as we called it, a cringe-worthy moment. There were no cringe-worthy moments. And I gotta tell ya, in this damn film, The Rise of Cobra, there sure were a lot of cringe-worthy moments. You know, I still stand by what I said earlier in my first review, The Rise of Cobra. It's not horrible, but it's not, and okay, let me get my thoughts together here. And I gotta tell you, something that I can't say for Rise of Cobra, but I can sure as damn hell say for Retaliation, that friggin' felt like a G.I. Joe movie. I tell you, man. Now, I'm going to try not to be too overly positive, but I can't help it. Like I said earlier, Madman and I, the only thing that we could think of that was, and it wasn't a cringe-worthy moment, it was just, there was a little bit of an odd moment where, okay, spoiler alert, guys, but by now, we've seen it a little bit late. I'm sure any of you watching this has seen the movie. But if you haven't seen the movie, spoiler alert, I'm probably going to give away some spoilers here. There was a little part where Storm Shadow was in a big glass, you know, hibernation tank, for better lack of whatever the hell you call it. And he busts out, and then all of a sudden he starts throwing shurikens And Madman and I were Madman and I were talking about, geez, where the hell did he keep those shurikens? But anyway, what the hell? You have to suspend disbelief with this kind of movie. It's strictly fantasy, That was the only thing out of all the entire movie that we talked about on the way back, that after coming out of the movie, that is the only, and that's a friggin' nitpick. Come on, that is nothing. So, aside from that, the whole damn movie was great. And I gotta tell you, another thing that I talked to Madman about before I got out of the car is that I gotta tell you that as much as I expected to like Retaliation, I didn't expect to like it as much as I did. So I even liked it a lot more than I thought I would. And I gotta tell you, I am much more easy to please than my friend the Madman. He's got a little bit of a higher, it takes a little bit, in my opinion, it takes a little bit more for him to really be wowed by something. And he had said that, yeah, he definitely liked it a lot more than he thought he would. So anyway, aside from all that, man, and I was thinking about this. This isn't a review, of course. I'm not even going to call it a review because when I go to this is more just a blog, just for my subscribers who actually care about what I think about this film. But this isn't really a review because I was talking with Madman about this, and I don't really retain, especially when I see a movie just once and it's at the theater. On top of that, there's a lot going on with the public. It's hard to focus on the film. So I can't go through the entire storyline, even though it's a fairly simple storyline. I can't really go through it because I'm sure I'll leave something out and maybe get something wrong. But I gotta tell you, if you're a G.I. Joe fan, if you're a G.I. Joe fan who grew up in the 80s, this movie is for you. Another thing, before I wrap this up, that I thought about is it made me think. I remember watching it in the middle of it, especially in the thick of it, where you get to the part where Cobra Commander is out there, Firefly is out there, Cobra Commander makes his escape in a small, sleek helicopter emblazoned with the Cobra insignias on it. Oh man, at that moment I remember thinking, man, this is a G.I. Joe movie. I can't believe this is an actual G.I. Joe movie. And I remember when I had gone to the theater to see The Rise of Cobra, I was almost struggling to try to focus, okay, this is a G.I. Joe movie. I remember, and everybody who's seen Rise of Cobra, I think you know what I'm talking about. It wasn't really our G.I. Joe. And boy, I was really right. That I suspected that this movie was going to be our G.I. Joe. And man, this leads me to my other thought. I realize I'm a little bit all over the place here, guys, but bear with me. This is a thought that I shared with Madman in the car as well, is that I remember listening to an episode of What's on Joe Mind, the G.I. Joe podcast, and it was in that time frame where the film had been delayed and we were all speculating what the film was going to be like. I remember, I believe it was Justin that said, I believe it was him, that talked about how the film, we were all speculating, what is this film going to be like? And he had this worry, or this concern, that if they were to make the film too much for us and not so much for the masses, you could run the risk of sort of alienating the rest of the audience out there. Like I'm referring to the older crowd and the very young crowd. And I'll admit, in the thick of it, like I was loving it, but I was thinking, I was a little afraid that I could almost see, and I asked the Madman about this, about what he thinks is if children would enjoy this movie, and in my opinion, I'm not quite sure if children would enjoy it. I'm not really sure. I think he kind of thought they would, like, we were a little divided on that. I wish he were here to voice his opinion. I did want him to be here, but unfortunately, Madman's a really busy guy, and he's got a family. He had to go home, like, and I fully understand that. But maybe someday he'll be around. We can return to this subject. We can come back to the retaliation subject. Actually, it's a pretty good idea. I just thought of that. But anyway, I hope I finished off that thought I had. Yeah, I'm just really thinking, I'm a little concerned with, I know that the 30-somethings and the people that grew up in the 80s are going to love it. But I'm a little worried about how the rest of the public movie-going audience will like it, but hey, what the hell? At least at long last, we finally got our G.I. Joe movie, and I really hope it does well money-wise. So then we can get a third one, because I tell you, the building blocks have really this thing is really. It fixed all kinds of mistakes too that were made in Rise of Cobra. They, spoiler alert, they, with erasing the mistakes with the killer of the true killer of the Hard Master. They revealed it to actually have been Zartan all along. Yeah, and Duke actually, spoiler alert, Duke is actually dead. And we were talking about this, Madman and I, and it's a good way, it's surprising that he did stay dead, even though we were damn sure that they were gonna worm their way out of that, but they didn't. They stuck to their guns. That's pretty damn good. That's pretty courageous, actually. It's pretty courageous of them, I think, to, I don't know, maybe I'm overdoing it, but overpraising, but I think it's pretty gutsy to, even though Channing Tatum, I've heard he's rising up in popularity, they didn't worm their way out of it and bring him back just because he's a popular actor. They actually kept him dead. So that's kind of interesting too. How far am I in here? Okay. But anyway, yeah, I think basically this has gone on long enough, because my mind is racing. I hope I got down to all of the aspects I wanted to talk about, but I'm sure I didn't. I'm sure there's many more things that I forgot about that I wanted to get to, but I don't want to make this video too long, because I'm not really sure how enjoyable it is. I hope it is. I hope you fellas watching this enjoyed my thoughts, my loose thoughts on G.I. Joe Retaliation. So yeah, and again, I'll say again, for those of you who watched, who subscribed to my channel, and you're not too big on G.I. Joe, but you watched it anyway, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, fellas. I mean it from here. And if you're a Masters of the Universe fan, yeah, you really should watch G.I. Joe Retaliation, because I hope you will see, like I have, that Jon Chu, he's a damn capable director, and I think we're in very good hands for a really kick-ass Masters of the Universe movie that should be coming, in the coming years. So, with all that being said, guys, thanks a lot for watching this raw Joe Nerd loose thoughts of G.I. Joe Retaliation. So, take care of yourselves, fellas, and I'll talk to you all again very, very soon in the very near future. Bye for now.